I thought I would post a different kind of video because it's been such a struggle lately. I'm a mess. To put it simply, I'm a mess. First off, my sleeping schedule is horrendously bad right now. I've been going to bed in between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. and waking up between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. So I need to fix that because I start college next month. And that's not gonna fly. Second off, I still can't find eyebrow razors, so I haven't been able to tame the mane, and it's driving me crazy. But those are all just side notes. The main issue I think that a lot of us are dealing with right now is staying sane and maintaining our lives as best as possible. My self-care has heavily depleted. I just have lost motivation for most things. I haven't been doing my skincare. I only take showers on days that I work out, which is also slowly depleting. I'm not eating well. My depression is off the charts right now. I'm succumbing to my eating disorder again. And I think what makes matters worse is that I weighed 92 pounds when I moved back from campus, and now I currently weigh 85 pounds. And I think admitting that is kind of... Oh no, I'm already crying. No, we are not going to cry, okay? I think admitting that is so hard for me because it took me so long to gain that weight back in the first place. And believe it or not, I used to weigh 100 pounds. I hadn't reached the 100-pound mark until freshman year of college. The freshman 15 is real. Except for me, it was more like the freshman 10 because I only weighed 90 pounds up until that point. But, that was the first time I actually ever hit 100 pounds before. And I didn't feel very happy about it because at the time it was just mostly fat. Like, I wasn't working out anymore. I completely despised working out. So I wasn't really working out. But then I rediscovered my love of dance during freshman year as well. And that changed a lot of things for me. But I still wasn't eating well. I pretty much never ate well in my life. Because my parents didn't know, like, basic nutrition, like, our basic daily nutritional needs. They were never taught that, so I was never taught that in turn. So a lot of, like, nutrition and exercise things I've had to teach myself because of stuff we also couldn't afford. And just, like, I don't even really remember how my relationship with food got so bad, I guess. I just started eating less and less and less. I feel like a lot of it is, like, societal standards, of course. Just like, you know, skinny is what people like, and if you show, like, any sign of fat, then that's just, you know, But I think the thing that, like, I guess I was scared of becoming fat. And I guess I started seeing food as something that can make me fat if I eat too much of it. But the problem was, at the time, when I started making that association with food, I was very, very active. Like, I played football in middle school. I was the only girl on the team. I was the running back. Like I did that, you know? So there was a lot of physical exertion because of that. And then in high school I played volleyball, and I played 2 years of each sport, and I stopped playing each sport because I got injured in each sport, which also did not do well for my mental health. So I, in turn, ate less. I started hating working out, and then completely stopped doing that. And then I didn't work out again until freshman year of high school. So I stopped freshman year of high school, freshman year of college. So I stopped working out in 10th grade of high school, and I had 5 years of high school because I went to an early college. So that was basically 4 years that I didn't work out, pretty much. So when I first got back into it, I didn't really like it, and I stopped doing it again. And my only real exercise was dancing, because as I had mentioned, I refound my love of dancing again freshman year. And so that was really the only exercise I was getting. And you know, people would tell me all the time, like, you're super skinny, like, I don't really know what you're worrying about. What they didn't see, and what I was really good at hiding, was my stomach fat. I did have a lot of stomach fat. Most of it's gone now, obviously, but there was a lot. I have pictures, but I don't really feel like digging those up because I really just don't want to feel bad about myself more than I already do. But I was not in a good spot. Physically, I was not fit. I was pretty much skinny fat. And then one day, I almost had a panic attack because of this assignment in class that I feared that I had done completely incorrectly. My professor wasn't answering my emails, so that didn't help either. And I just didn't want to look like a fool, basically, in class, because everyone else pretty much seemed to know what to do for it. And since I didn't have any art classes in high school like everyone else, I was really behind as opposed to everyone else that was there in my major at the time. So on my way to class that day, I just felt so overwhelmed by emotion and anxiety and all of that stuff that there was just a switch in my brain that clicked that was like, no, we're not doing this, we're not putting ourselves through this, so let's go, like, just lift our troubles away with weight or something. So I went to the gym, I worked out, and that's when it kind of turned around for me. And this was the end of 2018, the beginning of 2019, when I made this realization that working out can be a stress reliever and that it does feel good to do. So that became my method, not only to deal with my anxiety and my stress, but also motivated me to keep slowly upping my intake of food. In learning this, I actually started working out more. I started finding more ways to enjoy it. I listened to my favorite songs and had workout playlists that had some of my favorite songs in it that would really get me pumped up to work out. And then COVID-19 hits. And it all just went downhill again. I started off pretty strong, like I didn't want to break my habit and I continued working out at home. I tried to make my schedule at home as close as possible to what I would do on campus so that it wouldn't feel that weird. It still, of course, felt weird. But I wanted to keep my muscle, I wanted to stay fit, I wanted to keep eating the amount of food that I've been eating. But being home sometimes just triggers those reoccurring thoughts that I was trying to get rid of and overcome, with which I could only really do on campus because I was away from it. So I slowly started sinking back into this hole of depression and anxiety and this eating disorder, more particular. I started eating less again. I started losing my appetite. It got to the point where, and I still feel like this too, where sometimes I have to force myself to eat because maybe I only ate a piece of bread that day, or maybe I only had a slice of pizza and that was it. And then it gets to be about midnight and I'm like, oh, that's all I ate today. I really should be eating more than that. But that's all that's done about it. I physically don't feel like I am capable of beating this. And I am so disappointed in the fact that I let it become a problem again, and I let it get to this point again to where I have lost 7 pounds in 2 months because I'm not eating and I'm not sleeping well and my workouts are irregular again. Granted, I love working out when I do it. I absolutely love it. But because I'm not eating right and because I'm not sleeping well, I can't work out because I don't have the energy. And if I don't have the energy and I don't have the fuel that my body needs, then I can't work out because that will just cause me to lose more weight instead, which is the opposite of what I need right now. But I know that I have to eat a whole lot more just to gain weight, specifically in muscle and not fat. Personally, for me, I've only been eating around 600 to 900 calories a day, which is a lot more than what I used to eat. Like, I'm not sinking all the way back to where I started, which was like, I had like maybe 300 to 500 calories a day before, so I'm not dipping that low. I never want to dip that low again, but 600 to 900 calories is just not enough. For my body personally, I need at least 1,350 calories minimum, and to build muscle and to build like weight back, basically, I need at least 155 grams of protein a day, and I need at least 115 grams of carbohydrates a day with 30 grams of fat, which is a lot. I get that, which I usually, before I would eat 5 to 6 meals a day, just so I can break them up into smaller chunks, obviously. So that would amount to about 30 grams of protein per meal, and about 20 to 21 grams of carbs per meal, which really is not that bad. But it just feels so daunting, and I got halfway there while I was on campus, but now it just feels so daunting, and the fact that I can't work outside of my house because of this risk of getting COVID and being high risk just makes it all the more hard to battle, because I can't even help my parents buy food as much as I'd like, of course. Like, I can only contribute like $10 to $20 because that's really all I make a month. So I guess I just wanted to share this to say that for those who are fighting eating disorders, you're really not alone. And I know that this is such a hard time for not just me, but I know there's a lot of people succumbing to this after spending, months, years, possibly even, fighting this thing. And I just don't want other people to feel alone as I have. I feel like this needs to be talked about more openly, and I think we need to be more susceptible to the fact that this is a real thing. And we need to find a way to make it easier to help people going through this stuff. For me personally, like, me or my family, we can't afford therapy. I can't get help from an eating disorder clinic because it's so expensive. I have nowhere to go. I don't have somewhere to seek for help. And I also don't have somewhere to go without putting myself at risk to get food. Because I can't afford to get the amount of nutrition that I need for the goals that I want. So I think that we need to band together to figure this out. This is a problem, and it's a problem that's not getting any attention. And especially with everything going on in the world right now, I think it makes it all the more important that while we fight for our rights and against injustice, that we also need to remember to take care of ourselves. Because if we can't take care of ourselves, if we become unable to, either because of a physical disability or a mental disability, how are we going to fight? How are we going to be able to let our voices be heard if we can't take care of ourselves? And if we can't get the help that we need to be able to take care of ourselves? Now, I know it's not something that's easy. Nothing in this world is ever easy to come by. But it's going to take time. But we can figure something out. We can always figure something out. So, again, to those people who are going through this as well, find something to motivate yourselves. I'm hoping that my want of wanting to build muscle again will help me power through this. But there's also the trouble of getting food in the first place, of course, for my personal circumstance. But just find something that can motivate you to get hungry and enjoy eating, and knowing that, hey, I did this thing today, so I can eat this. That was my mentality going into it anyway. Because I did this workout, I can eat this much extra calories. Not that I recommend counting calories, but I only count calories to make sure I'm eating enough. Because if I don't do that, I just slip. But we all handle things differently. If calorie counting helps you make sure that you're eating enough, by all means. If it inhibits you, don't count calories. Just make sure you're eating enough. Write down what you eat. Omit the calories if you need. Just make sure you're eating. I just don't want people to be in the situation that I'm in, losing that much weight and just feeling so skinny and so weak. My pride comes with my strength. If I don't have my muscle, then I just feel like I'm not me. So, do things that make you feel like yourself, and treat yourself that way. treat yourself in the most positive way possible. Just find something that you can do and add to your daily life that allows you to see your potential, that allows you to understand your importance, and that allows you to just embrace yourself for who you are. Because if we can't embrace ourselves, how can we embrace other people? All I want in my life is to help people not feel alone, and to share my story and my journey as it happens. But in order to do that, I have to be able to take care of myself too, because who else can share my story? I don't want to be a statistic. I don't want to succumb to this and become a statistic. Because becoming a statistic doesn't help anything. I want to be able to fight this, and I want to win. And I think that sharing this with others will not only help me see how I'm helping other people, but also will help other people not feel alone. And I'm hoping that between making videos and releasing my eventual album, that being able to get that inside look into my story can help other people in this same situation, for those of us who can't afford to get help. I hope that this can help at least one person. And, you know, I hope and I wish for it to reach more people. But even if it just impacts one person, that would be enough for me. Because if that one person no longer feels alone, then they can help other people not feel alone. So, thank you all so much for listening. I really didn't go into this with a plan at all. I just felt really, I guess, passionate about it. Yeah. That's all I really have to say, I guess. So, you know, start a conversation in the comments down below. If you have any supporting or encouraging words for other people going through this, that would also be appreciated in the comments section. I just want there to be a positive outpouring of love and support for people such as myself going through this. Don't let anxiety, depression, an eating disorder, or whatever else you're going through, for me personally, I don't want that to define me. So don't let it define you either. We're not defined by our mental health. We're defined by the person that comes out of it. And I think that's the most important thing to focus on. It's not about what we're fighting, it's how we're fighting it. And that's applicable to many things. But in terms of mental health, don't let it define you. Because you are so much more than that. And don't let it deter you from what you want to do and what you love. Because you know what you love. You know what you enjoy. So don't let it stop you from enjoying life the way you want it. Thank you guys so much again. I love you all. You're not alone. And, of course, remember to keep up and chill.